These live videos are always a little bit scary. Hey, Gage, how are you, buddy? These are always a little scary because you never know what's going to happen. But I think the wind's down enough that we can hear each other, or you can hear me. And today I'm wearing a Westby Elementary sweatshirt. Big shout out to my friend and the principal down there, Bruce Peterson. What a pleasure to work with. The last time I chatted with him, we set up a class via text. He said, hey, we have parents ready to learn. When can you be here? What are the dates? And we just confirmed everything. I think we had one email and we were rocking and rolling. And funny story about this sweatshirt. I was down, this is, 3-4 years ago, working with some one-on-one classroom coaching with teachers. And he came up to me and he's like, hey, we have an incentive day today with the kids, and one of the people that usually do the mascot for our big celebration, and it's fun and there's cheering and there's songs and music. And he said the mascot guy is gone today. I said, wow, that's such a bummer. What are you going to do? And he goes, well, I'm asking you to do it. So I took off my shirt and tie that day, and he's like, hey, I'll give you a sweatshirt. So I wear this sweatshirt when I'm doing a lot of things. Bruce and I connected with hunting especially, so I like to wear it on hunting trips, and I send him pictures with my dog, and we kind of call it where's the Westby sweatshirt today. So today it's in my backyard. I'm sore, man. We worked hard yesterday. The girls got all their schoolwork done, and we were doing a lot of work and picking up sticks, and we finished the evening with a nice little bonfire and wood and whatnot. But a weird thing happened, and it motivated me to talk about chores, or what we like to call contributions to the family. We were kind of over on the east side of the property, and we had the saw going, and finally there was a quiet moment, and we heard, Dad, and we both looked up. My youngest and I looked up, and the oldest child was kind of hanging out her bedroom window saying, I'm almost done. I have one more thing to do, and then I'll be out to help. And we're both like, okay, sounds great. And I remember turning away and thinking, that's strange. She has an opportunity to do schoolwork all afternoon and not plug away and hauling brush and hauling wood and cutting wood. Why was that? And I started to think, when we talk about, in our Love and Logic classes, we talk about chores or like I said, contributions. We know one of the best ways to help build self-esteem is to allow kids to feel like a valued part of the family, part of the team Nelsons or the team Johnsons or the team Petersons or the team whatever it might be. When kids feel like they're an integral part of the team, that they're a necessary part of the unit, we begin the path to increase self-esteem. We also know a couple other things about chores, contributions. Kids that are in that habit early in life of getting their contributions done. I know a crazy family that says things like, feel free to ride that yellow bus to school as soon as your jobs are finished in the morning. Bus trips are free, and chauffeured trips to school are $5. And that family I'm talking about has yet to make any money on chauffeured trips. But one of the cool things about contributions is that kids that get into that habit early, they also are in the habit of doing well in school. And the Love and Logic Institute, Jim Fay and Dr. Charles Fay and Jed Hafer and all those fine people there in Colorado, they know that when kids feel valued at home, when they have jobs and contributions on a regular basis, they know that schoolwork improves. Success in school improves. And I think that that's important to remember. Now, it says low network connection. I wonder what that means. Are we having that? Looking at Gage like he should know. Are we still live, Gage? Can you hear me? It says low network connection. Is anyone in the house watching? Can you hear me still? No. My wife actually gets to work from home today, so. Low network. I don't know what that means. This is fun. Is anyone out there can hear me? Now it says recording. Oh, connection available. Are we back? You there? You hear me? All right. All right. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. Like I said, unscripted. So we're talking about contributions, talking about jobs. And we know that kids that have chores at home, jobs at home, they do better at school. And Jim Fay is famous on one of the videos that we watched during the Parenting Love and Logic Way class. He says this, and he speaks very succinctly and pointedly almost at parents. He said, if you can't get your kids to do the work at home, don't you dare call your teacher and expect them to get them to do their papers and their works at school. Because if we can't, the most powerful people in their lives, get them to lift a finger at home, don't expect a teacher to be able to do it either. And that's pretty pointed. It's rare that they talk that specific, but we know the connection of contributions at home and schoolwork. And this might be the time when we're going to see that, when we're doing some online learning. Those kids that are in the habit of taking control of their learning, where parents and teachers can kind of back off and let the learning be the children's learning. And I believe those students and kids are going to find greater success. So contributions, what do you do if they don't? What do you do if they don't do their work? Well, a couple things we can do to set up for success is we could have maybe a chore list or a job list on the refrigerator. And we know a few things about charts and lists. They're effective if the kids put it together. They're effective if they're doing 90% of the work, whether they're really little and they're drawing a picture or cutting out things to create a little chart. But if the adult kind of hands them a list and says, hey, you do this, that's pretty much guaranteed failure rate, pretty high failure rate there. So we want to incorporate a bit of a conversation here and include the child in choosing what they're going to do and keep it reasonable. And when they're young, the jobs are small. And as they get older, the jobs get a little bit bigger. But the point is that it becomes habit, it becomes part of their daily routine. What are some other things? Provide to allow them to be successful. Give them a little bit of a future deadline. We don't want to be like, hey, do it now. You better do it now. Even adults don't like that at work. So we give them a future deadline. I mentioned that one about that family we know about. Hey, feel free to get on the bus as soon as the jobs are done. Well, what does that mean? That means that they might have to get up 5-10 minutes earlier. That means maybe they're doing a little less screen time, or they maybe need to, not dawdle quite so much at breakfast. But what if they just refuse to do it? Well, yesterday we talked about how to get kids to listen the first time, and we also mentioned a technique called the energy drain. And I know some families that were instituting this whole contribution thing at home, and they had the chart and they follow the things, but at some point the child can say, I'm not doing it. Well, that's not a problem. There's a famous story about the young boy who one of his jobs was to mow the yard, and the future deadline was just have that done by lunch on Saturday. So he had a full week to get it done. And pretty soon it's 12:01, and here comes the neighbor kid over, and he starts mowing the lawn. And the boy's like, what's Sally doing here mowing the yard? Oh, and the dad was lots of empathy. Oh, sweet buddy. Man, I just didn't have enough energy to fight with you about this. I love you too much to argue. And Sally's just going to take care of the yard today. And that boy was like, wow, it's about time we get some help around here. And the dad continued with sincere empathy. And he said, well, when she's done, she's going to be coming in and looking for some payment. So why don't you take the next 45 minutes or so and figure out how you're going to pay her. And he's like, what? I'm not going to pay her. And he just didn't get into the argument. He said, oh, love you too much to argue. And he ended up using an energy drain technique. And we talked about that yesterday. Maybe I'll add it to the comments here as well. So I'll wrap it up. That's been too long. Contributions, so important. Such an important thing. In our family, contributions come just about before anything academic. And thanks for listening. And if this was useful for you, hopefully you heard me okay. I know there was a glitch there with the connection again. We live out in the country, so it's a little tough. But if this was useful for you, feel free to pass it along. And big shout out to all those families in Westby. I always love coming down and hang. I learned so much from you. And your hospitality is just so gracious. And I look forward to maybe we'll do this every morning as long as the weather is okay. I appreciate you listening. Have a great day.